Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I am Harrison Graham, your host as always. It is time for another mailbag, so use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. We will answer as many as we possibly can. Again, hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. That way producer Trace is able to find as many as we can. Let's start with our pal Smith sending in a question. Is the Josh Gordon experiment over? Kind of is, right? I mean, he was a healthy scratch against Pittsburgh in the AFC Wild Card round. Darius Fountain was activated for that game. And that's okay. You know, Josh Gordon's done everything right as a professional. He's come in. I've heard no negative reports about him with off-the-field stuff, anything. He's tweeted positive stuff the entire time. It just didn't work. You know, he might just be done, or maybe he's a bad match with Patrick Mahomes in this offense. I don't know. It hasn't worked. It didn't work. I will say this. I would like to see him be with re-sign on a minimum 1-year deal, get a full offseason of work, get those reps with Mahomes in the offseason. Maybe he comes back and he can be like a number 3 or number 4 receiver. I think it's clear he's never going to be a number 1 or 2 again. But if you get him in for a full offseason, training camp, all that stuff, maybe he's still got something in the tank. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's that likely. Tony Fuentes, imagine if the Chiefs and Niners meet up again in the Super Bowl. Well, number one, that'd be great for business here at Chat Sports because our two biggest channels left are the Chiefs Report, and my buddy Chase Sr. hosts this 49ers Report. So we would love that if those two teams met in the Super Bowl, and it'd also be a great storyline as well because the Niners could look for their revenge, and obviously the Chiefs could look for their second Super Bowl in 3 years over the team they beat for their first Super Bowl. So I would love that. I think it would be fun. We'll see if it happens. Niners got to beat the Packers this week. Chad Jamison, do you draft a tight end high this year to start thinking about replacing Kelsey? What do you mean by high? I'm not taking one first round. I don't know because you drafted Noah Gray last year, who I still think they're high on. I still think they're high on Jody Fortson. Now, I don't know if either of those guys have starter potential. We know Blake Bell doesn't. He's a good number 2, number 3 tight end. He can do some different things. He can run. He can catch. He can block. He can do the little QB sneak thing because he used to play quarterback. But at the end of the day, I don't know if you're going to spend one high this year because Kelsey is still rocking and rolling at a high level. All right, Chiefs Kingdom, subscribe, turn on that notification bell to get more videos. The reason it's important to turn on the notification bell, by the way, is because it does two things. One, it informs you when we go live for these type of live streams. Two, it actually sends you a notification for every single video we publish. So it's actually really valuable, really helpful for you guys. First, you got to hit the sub button. Then you turn on the notification bell. Join the Noti gang here at the Chiefs Report, and let's keep it rocking and rolling. Only like 20% of you guys have turned on notifications, so let's get that number up. That way you guys don't miss any of our videos. Producer Trey said those are rookie numbers. You guys going to take that trash talk? It can't happen. So subscribe, turn on notifications for more Chiefs videos. Shad Johnson, what contract would you offer Orlando Brown? It's a tricky one. He's played a lot better later in the year, but there were some times this year it's like, he's not playing that well. What do you do? But I definitely think they're going to keep him. Can you get him at less than $20 million a year? That would be nice if you could. Could you get him at like 4 years and $75 million, which is about $19 a year? If you can, I think it's a home run deal. You do it. He's still improving as a player. If he wants like 22, 23, that comes harder, but honestly, you're probably going to have to pay it because if you don't, then you traded him for nothing. If not, maybe you franchise tag him. I don't know. Could be an option. Kedran Smith, who is our next OC if Coach Bieniemy gets a head coaching job? Mike Kafka is a natural replacement. He's been this team's quarterback coach for a few years now. Would you bring back Matt Nagy? Andy Reid likes him, but maybe you promote Kafka, then you bring Nagy back as your QB's coach. You could do that. Andy Reid trusts Nagy, and I think Nagy with a polished and proven quarterback can actually be beneficial on a staff as a position coach. Yeah, I think Kafka would have the inside track just to take that job from QB coach to offensive coordinator. Jhamari Carter, do you think the Chiefs need to run more off-man coverage if they face the Bengals again in the AFC title game? This is a good question, actually. I don't want to, just oh, Chiefs are going to beat the Bills no matter what, and the Bengals are going to win no matter what. But if that does end up happening, you have to have a different approach, especially to Ja'Marr Chase. I mean, he just torched Charvarius Ward and Rashad Fenton. And that's okay. He's a hell of a player. I mean, as a rookie, he's already a top 5 receiver in the game. Some would say top 3. So, play safety over the top, play deeper man coverage. If you're going to go man, don't press him the whole time because his release is so good. You got to show him different looks. I know that for a fact. Joe Fazio, will we be able to contain Allen during the Bills game? You just want to slow him down, right? You're not going to shut him down. Can you contain him? Like, a key number for me, can you limit him to like under 50 or 60 yards rushing? Like if he hits you with 85 rushing on top of 300 passing, it's like, God, he is just killing us. Take something away or try to. Limit his rushes. I think Chris Jones, Frank Clark, these rushers, Mike Dana, Melvin Ingram, who, by the way, said today he'd like to stay with the Chiefs long term, got to be disciplined in their pass rush. Like, yes, you want to sack Allen. What you don't want to do is let him break, contain, and take off for 20 yards. So you got to try to, man. I'd rather make him beat me from the pocket, which he's obviously very capable of doing. Rxch King, who do you think wins MVP? I think it's going to be Rodgers again. Brady is the other guy. It's going to be one of those two. I thought Jonathan Taylor should get more consideration. If Derrick Henry didn't get hurt, I think he would have been in the mix. I think Mahomes might end up like 5th or something like that. He still had a hell of a season, but, at times this year he just didn't play well enough. And he's kind of entered that LeBron James territory where if he's not clearly the best player in the league, they're not going to give it to him because there's some of that fatigue. So I think it'll be Rodgers or it'll be Tom Brady. Juice Tan, how many rings do you think Patrick will win in his career? I've said 3 for a while now. I still think he wins at least 3. If he wins one this year, I think it'll be more than 3. But let's stick with 3 for now. He's only 26 still. He's a very young player, but it's hard to win Super Bowls, man. So I'll stick with 3. Who was the first Chiefs jersey you owned? Maybe it's Patrick Mahomes. Maybe it was Tony Gonzalez. Maybe it was Derek Johnson. Maybe it was Derek Thomas, Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson, Trent Green. Who was it? First jersey that you owned? I'll be reading the comments, so let me know down below. Is Noah Gray ready? Ready for what? To be a starter? I'll answer it like that. Probably not. I don't think he's quite ready to be a full-time starter, but he doesn't need to be. You got Travis Kelce. Is he ready to be your number 2 next year? That would be ideal, right? If by next training camp he's your number 2 tight end, that's good progress. He's been getting more and more snaps. I'd like to see him get a few more targets. I like what I've seen in limited opportunities. What do you think about Jody Fortson as tight end 2? Right on cue, right? Possibly. The Achilles tear really hurts, right? It's a bummer for him. He was just starting to kind of impose himself as a weapon on this offense, then boom, there goes the Achilles. I hope he comes back stronger, better than ever, and I think that he will get another opportunity to compete in this tight end room next year. Kedran Smith, wide receiver or CB corner in the first round? Best player available. Do you keep Charvarius Ward? If you do, probably you go receiver in that case. I think there's other spots. I think defensive end, you could go with a pass rusher. Safety is an option. We don't know what's going to happen with Tyrann Mathieu. So I think there's a couple of different areas the Chiefs could go in round 1, but receiver and corner are certainly 2 of those areas. Now, we can't answer every question live here on the Chiefs Report, but an area I will answer them all is on Instagram. Don't always get back to you guys on the same day, but I promise you I do eventually respond. Follow me over there at HGramNFL. It's at HGramNFL on Instagram. Just search it. You'll find my handle very, very easily, and ask me more questions. It'll be fun chopping up some Chiefs football with you guys. Touchdown takes. Mahomes over or under 330 passing yards against Buffalo. Feels like it's kind of spot on. I might lean under. 330 is a lot. Maybe 300. Producer Trey says life's too short to bet the under. He did just throw for 400 against the Steelers, who have a really good defense. So that feels about right. I could see low mid threes. So screw it. We're betting the over, baby. That's what we do. Chad Jamison, got it time for a couple more here. Since Frank Clark has been playing better, does Kansas City bring him back without restructuring? I don't know. I I still think you have to take a look at him as an organization this offseason and decide, is he a part of the future? Is he a part of this 22 team? Do you try to trade him and get something for him? I think there's multiple avenues. The good news is he has played better enough where it's at least a conversation now on what to do with him. Like, oh my God, earlier in the year, excuse me, he was, hey, burps for the boys, right? Earlier in the year, he was a guy that I would have just been like, get rid of him at all costs. But he's played a lot better as of late, so we'll see what happens. RJ, can Steve Spags bring some blitzes and mix things up on man coverage? I mean, he can do what he wants, right? He can call the game however he wants to. I think he's done a decent job of mixing up looks at times. He's kind of been selective on when he's done it. So I think he'll certainly have to mix it up against Buffalo. If you just sit in a base defense and don't change much, Josh Allen's going to pick up on that pretty quickly. And quite frankly, Joe Burrow will do the same. So these next 2 weeks are big for Spags to prove just how good he is. So go ahead and game on, Spags. Game is on. Real quick, at HGramNFL, told you about Instagram. Why not Twitter, at HGramNFL. Give me a follow on Twitter. You can ask me questions over there as well, at HGramNFL. We'll answer a couple more here on our live show, but if we don't get to them all, we will answer them on social media. So at HGram on NFL on Twitter. Andrea, who's your Chiefs season MVP? I'll go Mahomes still. I mean, he still had a hell of a season. Almost 5,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, 13 picks. Who else is more worthy? How about sneaky MVP? Creed Humphrey. You draft a center in the second round, and he's the best center in the league? Are you kidding? I mean, that's a hell of a story right there. Kelsey and Hill were great, obviously. Chris Jones came on. But, yeah, I mean, it's still Mahomes for me. So I appreciate the question. All right, Tony, you're going to get the last question here. Will you be going live in the offseason? I think that's the plan. There might be some weeks where we miss some, Tony, but I think the plan for the most part will be going live on Mondays. Special Wednesday live this week. We had to change some things around, but that will be the plan. Stay tuned. We'll certainly update you guys on that. That is subject to change, but I appreciate the question from you and from everyone here on the Chiefs Report.